Hi, I'm Ronnie Peck, pastor of Millington First United Methodist Church. And this is your midweek faith lift. As most of you know, February is Black History Month. And in celebration of Black History Month, our faith lifts over the next few weeks are going to reflect the celebration of Black History Month. The first one I want to start out with is from a name that you probably know very well. His name was Booker T. Washington. And Booker T. Washington, of course, was the first president of the Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama. There's an interesting story that occurred when one day the quite popular Booker T. Washington was walking to the school, and the path he chose took him through the rather wealthy and prominent area where most of the white people live, the wealthy white people. As he was walking down the street, he heard a voice. He saw a lady standing out in her yard with an axe near her wood pile. She asked him if he would like to earn some extra money. So he went over there, rolled up his sleeves, grabbed the axe, and began to chop what amounted to about a half a rick of wood. And then he loaded the wood in his arms, went into the house, and placed it down near her fireplace. She thanked him, and he left. Sometime later that evening, the woman's servant girl looked at her and asked her if she knew who that was. And she replied no, she really didn't know anything about the man. And so it was the servant girl that revealed to this anonymous lady that was none other than Booker T. Washington, the president of the Tuskegee Institute. The woman was mortified. The next day she made her way into Mr. Washington's office, and she began apologizing profusely. All the while he was just smiling and grinning. He looked up at her and said, "Ma'am, don't worry about it. A little labor every now and then, a little manual labor is good for my soul." And then he smiled and looked at her and said, "I'm always glad to help out a friend." Well, it wasn't but a few days later that a gift came to the Tuskegee Institute which totaled several $1000s. And the lady took it upon herself to begin fundraising efforts for the school. And she appealed to many of her white wealthy friends who also came forward with gifts totaling several $1000s. This would be something that would be repeated in the early development of the Tuskegee Institute. There were a number of people who made vast sums of money as contributions towards the school. One in particular was Julius Rosenwald, who, of course, his family were the owners of Sears and Roebuck at the time. And Julius Rosenwald would then become a lifelong trustee of the Tuskegee Institute. Other rather high-profile contributors to the school included people like Mark Twain, Andrew Carnegie, and there are many, many others. Aside from being someone who was concerned about offering his black fellow brothers and sisters an opportunity to receive higher education, Booker T. Washington was also concerned about their soul. And he wanted to make sure that people had an opportunity not only to learn, but to connect with their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm Ronnie Peck. This has been your midweek faith lift. And I'll see you back here again next week.